What is good, YouTube, and welcome to the War Stew Show. So today, there's some pretty interesting stories that all evolve around Venom 2. Kind of. So let's get into this video. So if you're new around here, make sure to subscribe to never miss any of the videos at the 100,000 subscriber mark if we ever get there. I will be giving away a PS4 Pro or an Xbox One X or a Switch with any games. We are just about 23,000 subscribers away from doing that. So in order to get there faster, just make sure to subscribe and hit that bell button. So, the first story is kind of an obvious story, but not really. So Scarlett Johansson has now come out and confirmed when Black Widow takes place in the MCU timeline, because there's been a bit of controversy over the last couple of days of when the movie's actually set, because no one's come out and said, yeah, it's set in 2018, it's set in 2019, it's set in 2020. No one really knows. So in a recent interview, Scarlett Johansson said it takes place after Civil War and before Infinity War. With Marvel, dropping the trailer this week, it's just come out, which is interesting. It turns out that Scarlett Johansson didn't even know about the trailer until she got a text message from Chris Evans, aka Captain America, at 5 o'clock in the morning saying, yeah, I like your new trailer, it's pretty cool. And she didn't even know. So I'm led to believe they dropped this trailer randomly without telling one. Although it was going around the internet that the trailer was going to be there sometime this week, no one really got the specific timing right, because it was supposed to drop 6 hours after it did. So everyone was wrong about the specific time. So it is interesting that now we know this. And it does show a kind of de-aged variation of Thunderbolt Ross. But if this movie is set after Civil War but before Infinity War, why did they de-age him? It really didn't make any sense. So I just want to add this in there for a validity, because some people don't know when this movie is set. So this is a quite ridiculous story, but it's been doing the rounds. Tom Holland discusses the drunk and tearful phone call that helped save Spider-Man in the MCU. Holland said, Spider-Man potentially even the MCU, I was emotionally upset because I felt like it was all coming to an end. Now, although I do believe this part, I don't really believe a multi-million pound franchise was saved by Tom Holland having a drunk conversation with Robert Iger, aka Bob Iger. I don't believe this, because you got to understand, guys, they are actors, An actor can act in an interview. It's so I don't really believe the story, but I think it's pretty interesting. So he was on the Jimmy Kimmel Late Show, and he revealed he was 3 pints down at the pub when CEO Bob Iger called him and asked his thoughts about the deal. My family and I went to the pub and we did a pub quiz in our local town. And I'm like 3 pints down, haven't eaten much. I get a phone call from an unknown call, and I felt like, I think I'm just about to have this drunken phone call. Holland told the talk show, so my dad was like, just chill, you'll do fine. Holland continued, I basically just said, thank you for the opportunity. He said, there is a world in which we can make this work. And then there were a bunch of phone calls back and forth. Kimmel pointed out that Iger previously said Holland had a phone call where he was crying and weep. No, I didn't weep. I did, yeah. No, I was really emotional because I felt like it was all coming to an end. We had a really good plan with everything with Sony's future, and I felt like it was all coming to an end. And I just feel like this is just, a clickbait article, a clickbait conversation, because why talk about it now, months later? I mean, I don't really believe like this was the pinnacle decision of the deal coming back, because realistically, the deal was never not going to happen. It was always going to work. It's ridiculous. So it's a pretty funny talking point, but it's interesting. So the reason I wanted to bring this kind of ridiculous topic point into this video is we are talking about Venom 2 and how it's going to blow the world away, because the recent, Joker movie smashing, making more money than most Marvel movies from a financial kind of profit point of view. It means that Venom 2 could be an R-rated movie, because, there is a world for R-rated movies. So we know that Spider-Man has the best ability in the MCU and any universe, because he's got the power to traverse himself through cinematic universes, which is interesting. So even if this movie is a 15, there's no reason why Tom Holland's Spider-Man could not feature in any spin-off movie because there is a contract. Tom Holland can feature in any movie. He will most likely feature somehow in Venom 2, Into Spider-Verse 2, and other spin-off shows they are going to make. So we do know that Carnage, played by Woodley Harrison, is going to be the villain of the movie, and we know there's going to be substantial other characters. So what is interesting in the last couple of days is Stephen Graham joins potential R-rated sequel. The Irishman star is in a role for Venom 2, and it's a mystery role, which is very interesting. We know because of the post-credit scene, Claudius Cassidy is going to be Carnage. Reports have also been circulating that there could be another, there's a lot of reports circulating. As we know, they are already filming this movie in London, which is interesting. So they generally, when a movie starts shooting, they have to start confirming more people because more people get seen going onto set. So we know this movie is going to be coming out in October. The scheduled date is the 2nd of October. But they haven't really confirmed that, although it's kind of been leaked that it's coming out in October, which is generally like 2 years after the first one came out, which is cool. It did have the record for the October box office, but that's obviously been smashed away now. So what should we expect from Venom 2? Well, I think this movie is going to blow everyone away, because we're going to have Venom, we're going to have Spider-Man, and we are going to have Carnage. This movie will feel like a unique Venom movie, which is interesting. And Kevin Feige has basically said that, yeah, they can cross over. We have big plans for Tom Holland to be part of everything. Every movie we ever do, he needs to be in every movie that I ever work on. And as we know, Amy Pascal might be working over at Universal Studios now, but she is still heavily involved in everything that happened, which is interesting. The producer on both Venom and Venom 2 told Cineland that the sequel will focus on the relationship between Eddie and Venom. The heart of Venom was always the relationship between Eddie and Venom. These two characters, these two sides, had to figure out how to live together, and they were somehow better together than separately, or more successful, and that's what they meant. That is interesting. So it does seem like it's pretty much confirmed that somehow Tom Holland will appear. We do know that it has been confirmed that Tom Holland did actually shoot a Peter Parker cameo role for Venom 1, but Marvel Studios told him they could not use it, which is weird, seeing as, you know, Sony owns the character. So it is interesting. Now negotiations are over. Now Tom Holland is going to feature in Sony and in the MCU. They can literally pull him in. So it does seem like early reports that Venom 3 could be an all-out brawl between Spider-Man, Carnage, and Venom. Because, you know, regardless to what happens with Venom in this movie, they're not going to kill Venom off, which is interesting. Marvel bosses said this: it was likely the two would cross paths. As for our friendly neighborhood symbiote pairing, Eddie Brock and Venom have apparently dedicated themselves to doing good, only snacking on the heads of people. Now, this is going to be very interesting to see how Venom 2 does play out. According to most recent reports, like I said, it could be R-rated. There's actually no R-rated on it. What is more interesting is the Black Widow movie with the first trailer. No one's really picked up on this. Is they've not listed the rating for the movie. So I could actually expect Black Widow to be R-rated. We might not see blood, but we'll definitely see more carnage. Venom 2's cinematographer said the following: he's confirmed the serial killer symbiote would be the main villain of the movie. Now we've got Woody, who's going to obviously make his own little entrance. Whatever the film ends up being, Andy is going to push the character further than ever before. I think it's unexplored territory, yet it's going to explode this film. I think it will help it explode because you've got the remarkable central character with Venom. Richardson also added, looking forward to working with Tom Hardy. I'm excited. I think Hardy is one of the best. He never misses. I look so forward to sitting with him and watching his performance. So who is the Venom 2 cast and who is returning? So it appears that pretty much most of the central characters will be returning. Michelle Williams, who stars as Eddie Brock's ex-wife Annie, will be returning. You know, she kind of played She-Venom, kind of. And we do know that Woody will be playing a variation of Carnage. Mr. Cassidy himself which is gonna be very interesting. One addition to the cast list is likely to be Naomi Harris. Though it's yet to be 100% confirmed, it seems highly likely that the James Bond star will play the villain Shrek in the Venom sequel, which is very, very interesting. Beyond that, Sony has a plan of serious movies for Morbius, obviously the Jared Leto, we know that's coming out next year, Silver, Stable, Black Cat, Silk, Nightwatch, and many other. As we said before, this movie should be coming out October 2020, and we are very much looking forward to it. And I believe I've told you everything of why this movie will blow you away. Carnage versus Venom on the big screen, R-rated. It's going to be freaking insane. So like always, guys, we will keep you up to date with all the latest and greatest Marvel, DC, pop culture based content. And I will catch you in another video very soon. Catch ya later.